Welcome back to the world according to Briggs. Today we're diving into a side of America you might not think about too often, but in reality, it shapes a whole lot of communities across this country. Religion. Specifically, we're looking at the most religious counties in the United States. We're talking packed pews, potluck dinners, gospel choirs, and the kind of small town churches where everyone knows which pew your grandma used to sit in. Yes, it's a thing, especially in the South, and actually Midwest too. They like to church it up. Now, this isn't just about Bible Belt stereotypes. We've got counties from Hawaii to Maine, and even a few places where the church to human ratio feels a little suspicious. We're talking about the most religious counties in each state. Whether it's Cowboy County Faith, Appalachian Revival tents, or New England Cathedral bells, these counties are keeping religion alive and well in 2025. We're looking at the most religious counties in each state. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 50, Lincoln County, Wyoming. That's right, we're going backwards. Tucked into the western edge of Wyoming, Lincoln County feels like the kind of place where time politely slowed down to enjoy the scenery. Life here revolves around rugged landscapes, starry skies, and small town connections. You've got ranchers, outdoor lovers, and people who aren't interested in city life at all. Faith is a big part of life here. Sunday services are just as much about community as they are about sermons. And when you're surrounded by mountains and moose, it's easy to feel a little closer to something bigger than yourself. Now, this is how we're ranking it by religious service attendance, and in this case, in Lincoln County, they have 64.1% of the population shows up for services on a regular basis. Congregations in this county, they have 28 for every 10,000 residents. 49, Taylor County, Wisconsin. Taylor County is just classic northern Wisconsin. Lots of forests, dairy farms, and neighbors who shovel each other's driveways without asking. I harp about that all the time, but anytime I talk to someone from the Midwest, they say that. You get a little older, your neighbor will come over and shovel your driveway, shovel your sidewalk, just because. This is the kind of place where church potlucks are basically gourmet events, and going into town is still a thing. Folks here take pride in their work, their family, and their pews on Sunday morning. It's humble, quiet, and just the right kind of insulated from the world's noises. Religious service attendance here, 74.2%. That's not bad. Congregations in this county for every 10,000 residents, 18. 48, Ohio County, West Virginia. Yes, they like Ohio so much they gave them a county in their own state. Life in Ohio County is that Appalachian charm with a touch of Steeltown grit. Wheeling is the biggest city in the area, and while it's not exactly booming these days, the community spirit hasn't gone anywhere. They love this community. Churches are as common as gas stations, and most families have deep roots in each one of them. It's not flashy, but it's fiercely proud, and you'll find more than a few gospel tunes drifting out the front porches on Sundays. Religious service attendance, 63.3%. Not bad. Congregations in this county, 17 for every 10,000 people, which some of these counties only have like 4,000 people, and they got 4. When you do the math, it comes out to 10,000 people. It's just so you could gauge where they are by saying 10,000 instead of they got 4,000 and they got 9 churches. Anyway. 47, Garfield County, Washington. This is one of the least populated counties in the whole state, and that's exactly how the locals like it and want it. Garfield County is all about wide open spaces, wheat fields, dusty roads, and the kind of churches where everybody knows if you're late for mass or service. Life is slow, farming is steady, and the community calendar revolves around church events and local sports. If you're into quiet sunrises, strong faith, you'll fit right in here. And they got a church for you. Just got to find the one you want. I grew up Roman Catholic, in Southern California, and you just went to your family church. There was no choosing. They really don't church it up too much in Garfield County. Religious service attendance, 61.3%. And they have 22 congregations for every 10,000 residents. Number 46, Fredericksburg City, Virginia. Now, first of all, you said, Briggs, this is city. We're talking about counties. What gives? Don't let the city title fool you. Fredericksburg is charming, historic, and just the right size. They don't have a county. They're what they call an independent city. Now, a lot of the events they have, they kind of mix in with the county next door, but no, they're their own thing. That's a city, but I guess it's a county at the same time. Sort of like San Francisco, but San Francisco has the city of San Francisco, and then they have San Francisco County, which is the same thing. Who knows? Anyway, so this is actually a city, but it's treated like a county because it's independent. Moving on. With a backdrop of Civil War history and cobblestone streets, it's got a deep sense of place, and religion is woven right into the fabric. You'll find colonial churches still holding services and newcomers joining old congregations. It's where Southern hospitality meets East Coast traditions. And Sunday mornings feel like stepping into a living history book. Their religious service attendance, 99.5%. Almost nobody doesn't go to church here. Congregations in the county or city, 33 for every 10,000 residents. 45, Grand Isle County, Vermont. Surrounded by Lake Champlain, Grand Isle County feels more like a peaceful retreat than a place to live full time, but plenty of people do, and they love it. The churches are small, the congregations even smaller, but they're tight-knit and sincere. Life here is rural and serene, and faith tends to be quite reflective and more about community than ceremony. It's the kind of place where even the pastor knows how to split wood. Religious services? Not that much. 49%. That's it. Congregations in the county? It would be 14 for every 10,000 residents. 44, Utah County, Utah. Utah County is just religious. It's practically built around it. It's home to Provo, Brigham Young University, and more meeting houses than you can count without a spreadsheet. This county is the heart of the Latter-day Saint life. Church attendance here is sky high, and it's not just about Sundays. Religion shapes everything from social events to school schedules to city planning. Most families are deeply involved in their wards, and it's not unusual to see people attending services, volunteering, and organizing youth groups, and prepping for missions all at the same time. Life in Utah County is clean-cut, family-focused, and faith-first. Even if you're not part of the predominant religion, you'll definitely feel its influence everywhere. From how neighbors treat each other to how quickly someone will show up with a casserole if you mention you're having a hard week. Religious services, 90.9%. Not as much as the last one, but that's still pretty high. Congregations, 26 for every 10,000 residents. It used to be a lot higher, but they got some of the, unwashed masses moving in. Those heathens. By the way, I was just kidding about the whole heathen thing. 43, Terrell County, Texas. With more cattle than people and enough desert to get lost, Terrell County is pure West Texas grit. Life is sparse but strong. People rely on each other, and faith isn't just a Sunday thing. It's a way to weather the long, dry weeks. Church is where the stories get shared, and the coffee is always strong. You don't live here by accident. You stay here because you love the space, the solitude, and the sense that your neighbors would cross 40 miles of desert and dust just to help you if you needed it. Religious services, 97.7. Congregations in the county, 81 for every 10,000 residents. 42, Hancock County, Tennessee. If you're looking for the kind of place where people still say yes ma'am and no ma'am, welcome to Hancock County. It's Appalachian through and through, with winding roads, tight hollers, and old churches dotting the hillside. Faith isn't fake here. It's lived, breathed, and passed down through generations. You won't find a mega church, but you will find Sunday dinners that feel like a family reunion. Religious services attendance, 84.3%. Congregations in the county, 54 for every 10,000 people. 41, Hyde County, South Dakota. Hyde County is farm country, plain and simple. Tractors, grain elevators, and Lutheran churches dominate the horizon. There's a quiet resilience here, a pride in hard work and hard seasons. Religion is part of the daily rhythm, not just something you dress up for on Sunday. Whether it's a funeral potluck or a Christmas program, the whole town shows up and everyone brings a dish and a story. Religious service attendance, 99.1%. Now, not everyone's going there. What I've learned is some people go 2 or 3 times a week or something like that. So that raises their percentage. It's weird. They're almost 100%. Congregations in the county, 49 for every 10,000 residents. 40, Union County, South Carolina. Union County is old South Carolina. Talking easy and gospel choirs that shake the rafters. Churches here are more than a house of worship. They're a social hub, a soup kitchen, the youth center, and sometimes even a political battleground. Faith and Southern identity are intertwined, and that's not likely to change anytime soon here. Religious services attendance, 80.7%. Congregations in the county, 31 for every 10,000 residents. 39, Bristol County, Rhode Island. Tiny but mighty. Bristol County has that classic New England charm mixed in with deep Catholic roots. Life here centers around family, tradition, and community festivals that somehow always involve a church fundraiser. What is the deal with that? Even when I used to go to Catholic school, I was always involved in some kind of fundraiser, selling something. They used us as a sales force to get money for the. It was as you look back at it, I was out there pounding the pavement every weekend trying to sell stuff for the church and for some lame trip we might have gone on that was probably free to go on. But we had to hit our quota or you weren't going. That was horrible. And as we got older, you had to go on those trips because if you didn't show up at the trip, when they were on the bus, they talked trash about you, especially some of those girls. Talk about you, Hilda. Anyway, back to Connecticut. From colonial steeples to coastal processions, the faith community is woven right into the town's DNA. Plus, with so many people showing up for church, you better believe your absence gets noticed. So yeah, attendance stays high, or they'll talk trash about you on a bus. Religious service attendance, 83.6%. It's not that big of a county, so they got 5 for every 10,000 people. 38, Elk County, Pennsylvania. Nestled in the forested heart of northern PA, Elk County is where hunting season is sacred and Sunday Mass is non-negotiable. It's a working-class place where church bells still ring loud and clear. A lot of folks here are blue-collar, no-nonsense types who've been going to the same parish for generations. When people here say we don't miss church, they mean it. And they mean don't be late either. Religious service attendance, 88.7%. Congregations, 14 for every 10,000 residents. 37, Malheur County, Oregon. Out in Oregon's high desert country, Malheur County is more cow country than coastal cool. The land is dry, the towns are spread out, and church is like an oasis of social life. Out here, faith isn't flashy, it's practical. Church is where you meet, marry, mourn, and maybe catch up on the local gossip over some casserole. It's rural life 101, and that means a whole lot of faith in God and your neighbors. Religious service attendance, 59.3%. Congregations, 22 for every 10,000 residents. 36, Harmon County, Oklahoma. You'll find Harmon County tucked into the corner of southwestern Oklahoma, where the plains stretch wide and the sky never quits. It's classic small-town Bible Belt, Baptist churches, potluck Sundays, and 10 times more tumbleweeds than people. Church is the central gathering spot, and with so many congregations, you're never more than a few blocks from one of them. Life is simple here, but not easy, and religion provides both the comfort and the community to get by. Religious service attendance, 98.1%. And they got 43 congregations for every 10,000 residents. 35, Putnam County, Ohio. Putnam County is in the middle of Ohio farmland, and it wears its faith like a well-worn coat. Practical, dependable, and always there. It's a place where you can drive for miles and only see cornfields, a few silos, and the occasional church steeple poking up in the distance. Sunday services are as much about routine as morning coffee. And families here don't just go to church, they build their lives around the church. Religious attendance, 78.9%. Congregations in the county, 14 for every 10,000 residents. 34, Foster County, North Dakota. Foster County doesn't have many people, but it sure knows how to gather them, especially in church. With long winters and a whole lot of farmland, life here leans hard on tradition, and faith is a key part of that. The churches are modest, but they're full. People show up not just because they believe, but because it's how they stay connected with their community. And this is key when your closest neighbor might be a few miles away. Religious attendance? 98.1%. Congregations in the county? 44 for every 10,000 residents. 33, Clay County, North Carolina. In Clay County, the mountains are tall, the towns are small, and the churches come with a front porch and Sunday school. Life moves a little bit slower here, and that's just how the folks like it. There's a deep Southern gospel tradition, and religion is often wrapped in music, meals, and family legacies. A lot of people here have been attending the same church their grandparents helped build, and they still sit in the same pews. Religious service attendance is 94.3%. Congregations in the county, 44 for every 10,000 residents. 32, Rockland County, New York. Just outside the hustle and bustle of New York City, Rockland County is surprisingly devout. It's a patchwork of religious communities, especially with the Orthodox Jewish population. And that keeps their numbers sky high. Life here can be fast-paced, but the faith groups provide structure, tradition, and a strong sense of identity. It's not your typical suburban scene. Religion isn't just part of life here. It is life for many residents. Their service attendance, 69.3%, and they have 11 congregations for every 10,000 residents. 31, Harding County, New Mexico. Harding County might be the least populated county in New Mexico, but it sure doesn't lack spirit. Ranchers, retirees, and a few scattered town folks come together through faith, especially when the winds kick back up. They like to church it up here. Religious service attendance, 93.2%. They all show up almost. Congregations for the county, 86 for every 10,000 residents. That's a pretty high ratio. 30, Union County, New Jersey. Union County isn't exactly rural, but it still knows how to fill a sanctuary. With its mix of suburban, city edge, and diverse communities, you've got everything from historic Catholic churches to packed Pentecostal services. The faith scene here is a no-nonsense Jersey kind of thing. People show up, they worship hard, and then they hit the diner afterwards like it's a tradition handed down by the apostles. Religious service attendance, 67.5%. Not bad. Congregations in the county for every 10,000 residents, 7. 29, Coos County, New Hampshire. Up at the tippy top of New Hampshire, Coos County is where the moose outnumber the people and the winters build character. The folks here are self-reliant, but they still know the value of coming together, especially on Sunday mornings. Churches in Coos aren't massive, but they're solid, long-lasting fixtures of a community. In a place where it takes grit to make it through February, faith offers some warmth that's not just hot cocoa. Religious service attendance, only 49.2%. That's pretty low for an entire state being the best. Congregations in the county, 15 for every 10,000 people. 28, White Pine County, Nevada. White Pine is where the high desert meets old mining towns and a whole lot of quiet. Life here is rugged, a bit remote, and refreshingly unplugged. Churches are small, often historic, and still a central part of social life. There's a strong sense of we're all in this together, and the church is where that really comes to life, especially when you live hours from the nearest Walmart. Religious service attendance? 63.5%. Congregations in the county, 16 for every 10,000 residents. 27, Thayer County, Nebraska. Thayer County is the definition of rural Nebraska: flat land, farms, and faith. The churches are plentiful and the congregations are loyal. Life revolves around planting, harvesting, and praising. And just about every town, no matter how tiny, has at least one well-loved chapel. Community dinners, quilting circles, and prayer meetings aren't extra here. They're a core piece of everyday life. Religious service attendance? Get this, 98.7%. And they've got 65 for every 10,000 residents. 26, Sheridan County, Montana. Way up near the Canadian border, Sheridan County feels like a frontier that never really lost its spirit. It's big, it's wild, and sparsely populated. But when Sunday rolls around, the churches are full of neighbors who've driven in from miles away. Faith is tied to the land, hard work, resilience, and strong belief in something greater. It's not flashy religion, it's quiet, steady, and is grounded in the prairie history. Religious service attendance? 93.7%. Congregations in the county, 76 for every 10,000 people. 25, Grundy County, Missouri. Grundy County is the kind of place where you can leave your front door unlocked and where Sunday services is still the best way to catch up on the local news. Churches are active and everywhere, from town squares to cornfield roads. People here lean on their faith like they lean on their farm equipment, often with purpose and usually with a whole lot of tradition baked in. Religious service attendance, 90.2%. Congregations in the county, 49 for every 10,000 people. 24, Yalobusha County, Mississippi. Down in Yalobusha County, religion isn't just part of life, it's life. Churches are where families gather, neighbors reconnect, and gospel choirs blow the front door off. It's deep South living with deep-rooted faith. There's a church on nearly every block, and whether it's Baptist, Methodist, or a little storefront revival hall, the doors are open and the community is tight. Religious services, 97.6%. Congregations, 48 for every 10,000 residents. 23, Parle County, Minnesota. Out in the prairies of western Minnesota, Parle, which I probably mispronounced, but it translates to lake that speaks, apparently speaks a different language than most of us. That's how it got a weird name. This county is quiet, wide, and faithful. This is Lutheran country, and Sunday worship is baked into the weekly rhythm. Churches double as community halls, and it's not uncommon for services to be followed by coffee, cookies, and talk of the last week's snowfall or next week's school concert. It's wholesome, tight-knit, and kind of sweet in a Midwest Scandinavia type of way. Religious service attendance, 95.8%. Congregations in the county, 41 for every 10,000 residents. 22, Dickinson County, Michigan. In Michigan's Upper Peninsula, Dickinson County is where the pace slows down and the community bond gets stronger. It's heavily Catholic with a generous sprinkle of Protestant churches. And the faithful show up here even when it's snowing sideways. People know each other by name, families go back generations, and the church bulletin often doubles as the town's official news source. Religious service attendance, 68.2%, and they've got 18 congregations for every 10,000 people. 21, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. Just outside Boston, Norfolk County might surprise you with how many folks still make time for church. It's a blend of old school Catholic parishes, newer evangelical groups, and interfaith communities. Life here is suburban but grounded. There's a rhythm of work, school, and worship for many families here, and they stick to it. Churches aren't just for religion either. They host food drives, teen groups, and the kind of spaghetti dinners that bring everyone together. I've been to a few of those. Usually the firemen had them. Religious service attendance, 64.3%, not bad. And they only have 5 congregations for every 10,000 residents. So not a lot of people go, but it is what it is. 20, Calvert County, Maryland. Located on the Chesapeake Bay, Calvert County offers a pretty coastal view with the traditional Southern Maryland lifestyle. Churches here are foundational to both spiritual life and community events, from sunrise Easter services on the water to crab boil fundraisers behind the sanctuary. There's a tight bond between faith and local culture here. It's scenic, neighborly, and still keeps Sunday mornings sacred for a lot of people. Religious service attendance, 62.1%. And they only have 8 congregations for every 10,000 residents. Someone needs to build a new church there, or at least 3. 19, Aroostook County, Maine. Welcome to the top of Maine, where Aroostook County is more potato fields and logging roads than lighthouses and lobster traps. Life here is simple and rooted in tradition. Churches are spread out, but that doesn't stop folks from showing up, even if they have to plow their way through a snowbank to get there. Faith is quiet and firm, and for many here, church is a place to reconnect in a county where the closest neighbor might be a half a mile away through the snow, which a half a mile away in deep snow feels like 4 miles. Religious service attendance, 46.5%, and they have 18 congregations for every 10,000 people. 18, Sabine Parish, Louisiana. Sabine Parish is about as Louisiana as it gets. Pine trees, bayous, and a whole lot of churches with powerful air conditioning and even stronger gospel music. Faith here is loud, proud, and woven into every part of life, from crawfish boils to football season. You're likely to pass 3 churches before you get to the gas station, and come Sunday, everyone's dressed sharp, ready to praise, and probably thinking about what's cooking for lunch after the sermon. Religious service attendance, 82.7%. It's typical Louisiana. They love their religion, even if it's voodoo. Congregations in the county, 42 for every 10,000 residents. 17, Hickman County, Kentucky. Way out in western Kentucky, Hickman County is the kind of old school southern charm that hasn't gone out of style yet. These churches here are staples, places where generations have sat in the same pews again. That's a thing. Sung the same hymns, shared the same potluck recipes. It's the kind of county where the pastors are community leaders and your church family might just be your actual family. Life moves slow here, and faith helps everything kind of stay together. Religious service attendance, 96.5%. Not bad. Congregations in the county, 65 for every 10,000 residents. 16, Ness County, Kansas. In Ness County, you'll find wheat fields, friendly waves from passing trucks, and enough churches to keep your Sunday schedule full. It's one of those places where people believe in hard work, homemade pie, and showing up to worship, whether you're in your Sunday best or your farming boots. Community is strong, and the church is often everything. Birthdays, funerals, and even town meetings. Religious service attendance, 95.1%. Not bad. Congregations in the county, 58 for every 10,000 residents. Man. 15, Kossuth County, Iowa. Kossuth County is a slice of heartland Iowa life. You've got endless farmland, cozy little towns, and churches that have been standing since the 1800s. Most people here grow up in a congregation and stay in it for life. It's not exciting religion, but it's deep-rooted in the community. There's a strong sense of duty, not just to faith, but to community. And the people, that's kind of how they are in Iowa. I mean, it's Midwest life. But in some of these counties, it's extra strong, especially when they've got a lot of church attendance. And this town does. Their religious service attendance, 89.4%. Congregations in the county, 28 for every 10,000 residents. Gotta love Iowa. 14, Benton County, Indiana. This is small town Indiana at its most classic. Wide fields, old barns, and churches that ring their bells like clockwork. Benton County might not be booming, but it's steady, and the church scene reflects that. It's less about showmanship and more about showing up. People here lean into faith in a way they do everything else, with quiet determination and a healthy appreciation for casserole, like all good churches. I grew up in Southern California, and a lot of our church service things and religious events at the community center or whatever the church, what they call it, they had some name for it. It include great tacos. It was my community back then. Anyway, their religious service attendance, 78.7%, and they've got 28 congregations for every 10,000 residents. 13, Clay County, Illinois. Clay County is where faith meets farmland. The churches are small, but the hearts inside are big. Life in Clay County has always revolved around community. And in most towns here, that community is built around church life. Whether it's Sunday worship, youth groups, or midweek Bible study, there's always something happening. And even if you don't go every week, chances are you know someone who will invite you back with a smile and a slice of pie. Religious service attendance, 79.5%. Not bad. Respectable. Congregations in the county, 38 for every 10,000 people. Number 12, Madison County, Idaho. Welcome to Morbin country. Madison County is home to Rexburg, Idaho, and BYU, Idaho. Yes, BYU has a Idaho version too, which means faith is more than just Sundays. It's 7 days a week, deeply embedded into every part of life. You'll find clean streets, cheerful families, and a church on every other block. Religion isn't just a practice here, it's a full lifestyle. If you're not part of the faith community, you'll still feel its presence everywhere, from neighborhood events to how the town operates. Their religious service attendance, 95.8%. Congregations in the county, 43 for every 10,000 people. Number 11, Hawaii County, Hawaii. The Big Island is known for volcanoes, beaches, and laid-back living, but don't overlook its spiritual side. Hawaii County is home to a mix of Christian churches, Buddhist temples, and Native Hawaiian spiritual practices. It's a melting pot of faiths, all coexisting in a place that feels closer to nature than almost anywhere else. Sunday services here might be in a cathedral under a palm tree, but either way, it's heartfelt and community-driven. I think it's kind of sad that the Hawaiian religion itself isn't practiced as much as I think it should be. And I'm not an expert on it, but I was watching this documentary on how few people actually, kind of celebrate the Hawaiian spirituality compared to the old days. But I guess that's everything. That's how it is. But their religious service attendance, 49.5%. Better than I thought it was going to be. Congregations in the county, 15 for every 10,000 residents. Number 10, Rabun County, Georgia. Rabun County sits up in the Georgia mountains where winding roads lead to small towns full of faith and fried chicken. Life here is slower, centered on family, tradition, and worship. Churches are the glue of this community. And if you're new in town, you better believe someone's going to invite you to their service, and probably a potluck or two. The gospel is loud, the pews are filled, and folks take their faith and their sweet tea seriously. It's like any place in the South. Sweet tea is just, I never had it till I went and visit my family down in Mississippi when I was young, and I was, sweet tea? What? Everyone kept talking about sweet tea. Finally had it, I'm all, okay, now it makes sense. Religious service attendance here, 82.9%. Congregations in the county, 30 for every 10,000 residents. Not bad. Number 9, Jefferson County, Florida. Jefferson County is that stretch of Florida that reminds you that the state is more than just beaches and theme parks. It's old oaks, wide porches, and Sunday services that sound like they came straight out of a gospel record. Life here leans rural and traditional, with churches playing the role of spiritual hub, social center, and sometimes even town hall. If you want to find someone on Sunday morning, check the parking lot behind the steeple. Religious service attendance, 61%. Better than I thought it was going to be. Congregations in the county, 35 for every 10,000 residents. I just don't see Florida people as being very religious. I know they've got a lot of country areas, but I'm just a little shocked that it was even that high. Number 8, Newcastle County, Delaware. Newcastle County is the most populated part of Delaware, but don't let the suburban sprawl fool you. People still show up for church. There's a solid mix of faiths here, and the religious community does a lot more than just preach. They feed the hungry, run youth programs, and keep tradition alive in a fast-changing world. Faith here is less about show and more about service. Religious service attendance, 46.5%. Better than I thought also. Congregations in the county, 8 for every 10,000 residents. Now, there's only 3 counties in Delaware, so, it's not hard to beat. It's not hard to be number 1 in this county, or in this state. Number 7, Fairfield County, Connecticut. Fairfield County might be known for hedge funds and train commutes, but underneath the polished surface is a network of historic churches and synagogues that have anchored communities for generations. From grand stone cathedrals to humble chapels, faith still matters here, especially when life gets too busy. People might arrive in designer shoes, but they come to worship with the same purpose as anywhere else. Religious service attendance, 63.2%. Again, better than I thought it was going to be out there. Congregations in the county, 7 for every 10,000 residents. Number 6, Kiowa County, Colorado. Kiowa County is as flat as the day is long, and the churches here are as reliable as the sunrise. This is a classic Plains county, windy, quiet, and deeply rooted in tradition. Sunday services are where neighbors reconnect, kids squirm through sermons, and everyone pitches in for an after-church meal. If something big happens in Kiowa County, odds are it's announced at the pulpit. Yeah, this is the eastern part of Colorado. If all you think about Colorado is the Rocky Mountains and stuff like that in Denver, to the east, a little bit away from the Rockies, it is Kansas flat, okay? It might as well be part of Kansas because that part of the state is totally different from the rest. Yeah, I guess that's the same here in Washington and Oregon. We got our Pacific coastal part on one side of the mountains, but on the other side's flat as an ice rink. Religious service attendance in Kiowa County, 87.3%. Not bad, respectable. Congregations in this county, 57 for every 10,000 people. Number 5, Mono County, California. Mono County is high elevation with high spirituality. Think Sierra Nevada views and peaceful living. It's a small community with a big sense of unity, and the churches often double as a shelter, a food bank, and a support center. Life here isn't fast, but it's rich in nature and neighborliness. Whether you're into Sunday sermons or just sunset prayers over the mountains, this place has a spiritual rhythm of its own. I bet most of you didn't think there was any religion in California. Bunch of heathens out there on the West Coast. No. Very religious state, especially when you think of the Hispanic community in like Southern California. Very, very much religious communities. A lot of them. I think more in Southern California than you'll find in most of the state. But their religious service attendance, 96.1%. It's not bad for a California county, though. Congregations in the county, 11 for every 10,000 residents. Number 4, Ouachita County, Arkansas. Deep in southern Arkansas, Ouachita County is full of pine trees, winding roads, and some of the most active church communities around. It's not just about religion, it's about connection. Choir rehearsal all week, casseroles show up without being asked, and the pastor knows your birthday, your cousin's tractor broke down, and if you're going through some marital problems. It's faith with a southern accent and a whole lot of heart. Their religious service attendance, 91.7%. Typical of Arkansas, though. Congregations in the county, 50 for every 10,000 residents. It's a lot of churches and synagogues or whatever they got there. Number 3, Graham County, Arizona. Graham County mixes desert views with deep faith, especially when you start talking about the Latter-day Saints. This isn't the part of Arizona where you got resorts and retirement homes. It's hardworking, rooted in tradition, and full of communities where everyone pulls together. Church plays a big part in local life, helping to keep that tight-knit feel, even when the land stretches out for miles and nobody's on it. Religious service attendance? Not as, much as I thought, but 55.2%. Congregations in the county? 17 for every 10,000 residents. Number 2, Kosovec Census Area, Alaska. Now, you have to forgive me. I tried for about 30 minutes to find out how to pronounce this one. I have no idea. Kosovec is remote. I'm calling it Kosovec, so sorry. Might call it 3 other things during this one. But this place is remote, like mail comes by bush plane remote. But that doesn't stop the people from gathering to worship. The population is largely native Alaskan, and faith often blends Christianity with local traditions. The churches here are small but powerful community hubs, places of warmth, prayer, and shared strength in a landscape that's beautiful, brutal, and deeply spiritual. Their religious services, 86.8%. Probably because they got nothing else to do. That's a very warm place when you go to church. Congregations, 35 for every 10,000 residents. I think they got 2 because they don't have many people up there. All right, before we get to number 1, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like this, let me know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Jefferson County, Alabama. Jefferson County is home to Birmingham, and while it's urban in parts, its religious soul runs deep. This is Southern Baptist country where Sunday mornings are busy and church cloths are still a thing. Gospel choirs fill the air, and pastors have been known to preach with a kind of fire that shakes the rafters. It's a county where faith is personal, public, and part of the cultural heartbeat. Their religious service attendance, 83.9%. Not bad. Congregations in the county, 18 for every 10,000 residents. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit different. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.